Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to my live stream. Here we are going to fight CPS with Bob Pace this afternoon. And I'm glad you found me. You found me one of the 7 Facebook pages or the YouTube page. That's what brought you here, unless you've been a regular user and you know when I'm on. Now, I'm on 3 times a day at 8 o'clock in the morning, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 6 o'clock at night. Those times are all Pacific Standard Time. Yes, I'm on the west coast of California. This is being broadcast live from Surf City, USA, 3 blocks from the ocean. And it's a worldwide broadcast, meaning that not only everybody in the United States can see me or hear you, or if you're a guest of my show, the world can. Right now, I've had 30 countries contact me so far, and all 50 states have contacted me, including Washington, D.C. That's not a state. And I'm glad you all found me, because what I do is I try to help you at a grassroots level with dealing with CPS and help line up an attorney with you. Most of you that come here or find out are looking for help, and you're not going to get a lot of help with CPS. CPS has put a stigma on parents. Mention the word CPS and people think they're awful. Not all parents do negligence or abuse their children. Not all parents. Unfortunately, circumstances are led to believe that you may have, only because we now have corrupt police and corrupt social workers. I'm sorry to say that. And if I hurt anybody's feelings as a social worker, because I've had one social worker here on the live stream, or a policeman, I appreciate what your efforts you're doing. I think it's 50% of government agencies, social services, that have gone bad, and 50% of the police. Now, I know that we're re-looking at our government departments. We have a government agency called the Department of Government Efficiency. That is a new government agency created by our president that came aboard last January. And Elon Musk was a part of that group. He had a 6 month, that's as many max you could work as a volunteer for that position. And he was trying to go around investigating government agencies to stop people that are getting free money by not working for the government, or they're dead, which it's not their fault. The other people are getting the money, I guess. I don't know how to do it there. Also, not providing the services that they promised, and the corruption that seems to be happening a lot in the child protection system. You know, it's important that we are protecting our children. It's something that for 400 years we've been trying to do since the early days of the founding of the United States. Now, this country was settled by the first immigrants, which are the North American Indians, or just Indians. Now, in Canada, they're called the First Nation people. In the United States, they're called Native Americans. Now, I don't know what they're called in other countries. I think they just stick with their names, the Aztecs, the Mayans, whatever it is. But 10,000 years ago, people were still wandering around the world. And the first people from Asia crossed up in Alaska to the land bridge and came into the United States that way. They settled in Alaska, settled in Canada, settled in North America, went down into Mexico, settled there. I'm only using these names because these are the current names of places. I know we've changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of USA, or Gulf of America. That's what it is, Gulf of America. We changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I think it's been called the Gulf of Mexico before there was America. I don't know. I have a big feeling, but I'm not here. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And they went back, they went further south into countries like Panama and Honduras and middle is called Central America. Then they settled in South America to Brazil and Venezuela and so forth. These Native Americans, 10,000 years, were wandering. See, it all started, and we don't know where Adam and Eve is, but the earliest man we found is in Africa. and then it branched out and it branched out. And I think in Africa, there are regions where there's a lot of sun. And the Sahara used to be a thriving jungle, by the way. A lot of people think Sahara has been a desert all these years. No, they've gone through and found that it was once a thriving jungle. The world has changed. And I'm trying not to get too much into this because I have a lot of life skills that I can teach you guys. But I'm trying to tell you that there's a lot of misunderstanding with who deserves to be in the United States. Anybody that has come into the United States since 1776, that's when we were formally no longer the 13 colonies, we were the United States of America. That's when we declared our independence from Great Britain, independence from France, whatever things is. We had a war later on in 1812 that burned the White House down. And so, I know our current president's remodeling, do what he wants, not to fret. It's his home. If you own a home, you're allowed to do anything you want to do to it. And he's not using the taxpayers' money. He's using the money that he has made. And he's a very successful businessman because he has grown a lot of businesses. And that's why the United States is thriving. But he's also a businessman. And a lot of people are confused. He's not a politician. And the Democrats are so lost right now. And I'm starting to get into politics. I need to stop. Okay, I apologize. I need to stick with the Child Protection Agency. But children were always taken by families. And the American Indians are very great with families. And it wasn't to 1979 when they passed a law that protected the Indian children. Now, it's sad that the first immigrants were treated so badly by the European settlers. Now, after the Indians came, and where they got that name, the Indians, came from Christopher Columbus. He didn't discover North America. He discovered an island in the Caribbean, and he thought it was at India. He was nowhere near India. And he called the natives, they're Indians. And so that name stuck with any indigenous group or savage group. They call them savage, but I don't think Indians are more savage than we are. I think the rudeness that politicians use among themselves is horrible. That includes our current president. He says how it is, but I think we all have to be respectful. We all have to be respectful. And we have a man in charge who's investigating Child Protection Agency. And through the government efficiency. And it first started with Elon Musk, and now there's other people. But they're saving the taxpayers. They want to save them trillions of dollars. Right now, they're at the $1 billion mark. $1 billion have saved the taxpayers. If you want to know what our president's done, he's saved $1 billion in wasteful spending. You probably don't see all this stuff he's saving. And right now, he's trying to clean up the world. He's trying to get rid of the crime, the drugs and stuff. He's stopped any kind of drug or anything coming from there. He is really trying to rid the world of these crazy people from World War II. The people that are just, I don't know. It's a very hard position with two countries, China. And I don't know how I don't have anybody call in from China or Russia about a child care problem yet. I'm expecting I will someday. In Ukraine, I haven't heard. And Ukraine's a horrible situation that should never happen. It should never happen. But what is really, if people haven't figured it out, is that Russia wants to go back to the Soviet Union. They want to be comprised of many countries and become a communist state like China and Korea and Cuba and Venezuela. Those are communist states. And Iran, see, the communists don't really believe in religion. They have their own whatever they believe in. And so you have the Islamic. And I do have a Middle Eastern country that has text a message from here. And that person is from not Saudi Arabia. What's the other country down there? But anyway, they have texted into the show that they have a problem with their child. So I'm here to address all of you. Now, the way you can talk to me is by typing in a word. Now, we have, or type in it, but make sure you give me your name, just the first name, and your city and state or country if you're not in the United States. And right now we have a person that just written in a couple times. I need to address you because I want to give you a warm welcome. Now we have this person named Timmy. I don't know how to pronounce it. Timg. Timmy. Okay. One thing I want to emphasize: if you're a couple, try not to use. Well, if you're a couple, make sure you tell me you're a husband or wife, because this morning I had someone named Ryan and someone named Boone. I think it was Bon or something. One was Sheila, the other was Ryan. And what was happening was that uh, Sheila started to talk, but she was using Ryan or Boone. And it was getting me confused. So best to stick with one person as a couple. If you're not together, that's all right too. But he has a question. He doesn't give me his name, but I'm going to use Ting right now, or Twing. My wife and me. Okay, my wife put meth on my drug test, causing me to lose my son. So I think what he said, he's a father. I don't know his name. I don't know where he's from. I appreciate a location, a city, a state, or a country in a city. But he's saying he's pointing to his wife. Somehow he's tested positive of meth, and I think his wife has something to do with it. He lost his son. So your case is neglect. You can't do drugs and take care of young children. They just don't work. And if your kids are taking drugs, that's abuse. But right now, if you're taking drugs, you're neglecting your children, because you're not going to be in any type of form to be coherent to answer or take your question. So I appreciate hearing from that, Tim. I'm going to say Tim G. Tim. Okay. Tim further says, I have a hearing tomorrow. Wow. I wish you'd talked to me a week ago, because I can help you. I can help you with your hearing. You should have an attorney, though. See, this room is nice because you have somebody that's not going to charge you anything, that's going to try to help you out. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I have a lot of education things I can help you, but I do have a lawyer. But on short notice, it's hard for him to jump in. By the way, his name is Vincent W. Davis. I really thank him for all his hard work. I work for him, and he can be reached at 888-888-6582. It's a number shown on the bottom. The number shown on the bottom. Now, my number is up there, and my email is up there. That is if you want to be a guest on my show. I also take phone calls in, but right now I need two devices. One device is the phone, which is I used Vonage. Sorry, you don't have to have Vonage to talk to me. It's what our company uses. And then I have a computer that uses StreamYard that broadcasts on YouTube. Well, I can't have both running at the same time on my phone. I have to interrupt it and then leave you guys in the dark and take care of the phone call or the text message. So what I ask you is that for right now, the part's supposed to come in any day. It may be in tomorrow, maybe Monday or Tuesday, but it should be coming shortly. It's my AC brick adapter and cord. The cord in 6 months of my new computer went out, and they warranty it, but they don't warranty it'll be delivered in an appropriate time. Okay, Tim. So I want to help you with your hearing. Now we have a second person that's coming in the room named Bernard Shriver Jr. And does Bernard have a name or where he's located? I need to know, you guys, where you're from. I assume Bernard will work. Well, I've had our meeting with CPS. Okay. Was it the first meeting? Was it the planning meeting, or was the meeting to decide where your children go? And it wasn't bad. And to do a complaint, we'll have to be watched. Oh, I guess they have a complaint against you for 30 days and see if they can close the issue. Well, that's a good CPS agency. I said 50%. You are now thrilling me, because over 2,600 people have told me that they're bad. And you're the first one that now, in the last 2 years, that has told me some good news. I don't know where you're at. I'd like to know, because that's the way it should work. Most of the time, when they get a complaint, it's reported by a layperson or a professional. There's two kinds of reporters: professional and lay people. Now, lay people are like a relative, a sibling, it could be a friend, It could be the person that works at the grocery store, the gas station, or a store that sells lumber and stuff like that. What do you call them? Hardware stores, I guess, or improvement stores. But it could be any of those. Those are laypersons. And if they see a mother and a child walk and the child looks uncomfortable, have bruises, doesn't wear all the clothing right, or whatever, they will necessarily call CPS. So the ears for CPS. They're not trained though. And they get it right 25% of the time. That's a bad statistics. 25% of the time they're right if they see a child. The other group is the professional. Now, these people are required by law to report abuse, report neglect. They take a class, they're trained in it, and they know how to recognize it and how to report it. These are like your doctors and your nurses, your school teachers, your administrators, your counselors, your nurse. Then there's the caregivers and the policemen and the firemen. Anybody that works with children, anyone that works with children is required by law to report suspected neglect and abuse. How it's interpreted is where the problem is. If you have 50% of the agencies out there that want to make money, they're going to try to take your child because the child is worth $20,000 a month when they're in the care of CPS. So that's why they march you and you are dumb and you say, yes, you can take my child. Yes, you can search my home. Yes, you can come into my home. No, those are things you don't want to do. You don't want to do because you'll get yourself into the hole and you lose your child. Because if you're caught up in a legal matter, no matter what legal matter is, you're entitled by the Constitution to have legal representation through all matters. So when you get arrested, you're entitled to an attorney. When you get a complaint from CPS, you're entitled to it. Now, you don't have to answer the door when the police or social workers come. There's only 3 ways you can get in the door. 3 ways you can get in the door. And I'll be right back with you people here. I just need to finish this note here. But you got to have a probable cause, meaning that there's a child in danger for them to bust the door, the social worker, the police. Anybody in danger, they can bust the door down. If there's commotion enough that police suspect there's somebody in danger, they can break it in. The second way is if you give them permission. Let's say that you open the door and they say, hi, can we come in? Well, you should first ask your question because you shouldn't answer the door because you wouldn't have to do this. Is this regarding a legal matter? If it's regarding a legal matter, you tell them that I need my attorney present. We'll have to set this up another time. Thank you very much, and close and get their name and then close the door. Close the door. If you don't open the door and you have a camera or you're listening or looking through the peehole, the eye hole, or whatever it's called, the eye hole, I guess it is, you service who's out there because too many people are being killed by opening the door. A black lady in LA recently was shot in the face 5 times. A black man, and I'm not trying to be stereotypically it's white or black, but it does happen a lot with black people. And the black guy was young. He was a United States Air Force soldier. And he opened the door and he shot 5 times the chest. Now, both of those were wrong. We've had a lot of people shot lately. And I don't think you need to shoot or kill somebody unless you're in danger. Now, the guy, the black guy, that he had a gun in his side, he legally could carry it. But the sheriff acted too recklessly. The man that shot the lady in the face was mad at her. And she was busy washing her dishes and for whatever reason he shot there. But both those people are offended. Now, we had 2 recently other people. One was, and again, I wasn't there, but what I've seen or heard or stuff like that, he was one of those people that had been before that was against what the current administration is doing, is cleaning up all the illegal aliens. Now, it's so hard to distinguish what is a good illegal alien and what is a bad illegal alien. We're supposed to hit all the bad ones first, but it's hard when good or bad are mixed together. It's also hard when they're from the Mexican border and now in Canada or settled there. It's even more harder when they have children here. You see, illegal aliens should never come in here illegally, but we let it happen. We let millions of people every year come in the United States free. And so what came with those people were the cartel and all the crime. And so we had increases in drugs and crimes where a lady that's out for a run in Athens, Georgia is murdered by a Venezuela guy that was a corrupt individual to begin with. So we're out here trying to clean it. So two people have been killed there too recently. The reason why I'm bringing this up is to show that you have to be safe out there. I don't know why they can't shoot people in the foot or the arm or the hand. I don't know why it has to be in the chest. I don't know why it has to be shot to kill with the 5 rounds. You know, one round, one bullet will make a person stop. I can guarantee if you're shot in the foot, you're going to hobble around worse than you shot in the chest. So, I think we need to be careful because these two cases, the other one was a lady that was driving a car, which is big to a guy on the ground. And maybe he felt endangered. But why was the lady there? Both the lady and the man didn't need to be there. They didn't meet there. People come to rebel rousing all the time. I was a young child in Washington, D.C. I lived in Arlington. And during the movements they had, the 60s, they had all kinds of movements happening. But I didn't partake the movements because I knew bad things happen there. I didn't take drugs because drugs are illegal and I know bad things. So I don't know. It's common sense. But anyway, I like to move on because we have other questions here. And I need to go on to Bernard Shriver. He's new. He plead the Fourth Amendment too, also the Fifth, Sixth, Ninth, and Tenth, if it's legal matter. Visit. Well, you can't plead. What you do is you say, I need attorney present. You don't say amendments because the policeman won't know. I mean, they know their police laws and stuff. Now, Bernard said his complaint was, and I don't know who made the complaint, was it the police or was it the CPS? And did the CPS hear it from a professional reporter or a layperson? Our complaint was our youngest smelled bad for some time. So a safety plan in Michigan, I guess, was instigated. Well, maybe he didn't have the right bass, or maybe you don't have the good parenting skills. By the way, the best parents are the biological parents. Don't be worry if you did some things wrong, because we can all cure up hiccups. We'd rather work with a biological parent than put them in foster care or group homes and single homes and shelters. We need to put them in with the biological parents. We need to stabilize it. If the child smells older, you can, and you have your attorney present and they allow you, you can say, look, I only bathe the towel once a week. They said, well, maybe you can do it. And the CPS workers got to be working with you. Now, we did have a guy today, right now, Tim, that says he's got a fair social worker that, but I don't know all the details, Tim. Hopefully you'll come back. Tim, by the way, I forgot where you're from. I don't see where you're from, Tim. Where'd all my Tims go? I only had 2 things from Tim. I thought I had more than 2. He just says he has a hearing. So I've had 2 things from Tim, and then Bernard has several things. And Bernard's the one that says it wasn't bad with CPS. We did a complaint in 30 days. We're going to see there. So our complaint was a younger smelled bad for some time. A safety plan. They're in Michigan. Great. Thank you, Bernard. And who did you plead the Fourth Amendment to? Also the Fifth. Are you mean us in general? I don't understand the statement you made there, Bernard. You invoke that. Well, you can invoke it, but the police and the CPS may not, if they're corrupt, may not honor it. Okay, school was the complaint. That's good to know. School was their professional reporters. Everybody that does at school, including teachers' aides, I'm not sure about custodians, has to learn about reporting abuse or neglect. So that was the complaint, and they complained to CPS, and the CPS has a report. Our kids get baths every day. Okay, I know that. Well, then I don't know why you smell bad. There is odor. Young kids may not use their antiperspirant or deodorant. There's something called deodorant and antipestin. And I know there's some new stuff out that I haven't tried. but I always get the deodorant slash antiperspirant. And I don't want to give a brand because I'm not advertising for that company. But if I had the company as the one who sponsors a show, I would do that. But it works for me. But everybody works different. My wife has a clinical deodorant, um, and so that's a little bit different. She has a better, so maybe it's just that a doctor will determine whether your children have bad odor. They need to be taken to a doctor. Just say that you got a complaint from CPS. You go to your doctor and say they say there's bad odor. Now maybe he just got uh, into a mess of uh, dog stool or something. Maybe the dog stool was in the way and he slipped and he rolled in it. Maybe he's a young child. I don't know how old your children are, but little 4-year-olds will roll in the dog stool that's in the yard. So maybe he had that on there. I don't know all the particulars. I'm only trouble guessing, but I'm guessing. So you have a bad odor. But CPS says they want to work with you, Bernard. Um, Okay, your kids are special needs. So that's important for the CPS to know that. Maybe your kids don't know the difference between rolling in the dirt with dogs or what it is. So they have autism. Well, there's nothing wrong with autism. There's nothing wrong with autism. And by the way, these comments are shown on my page so people get to read along. They get to read along. So you believe it's a political issue at the school with us. Okay. So, and that's the bad part about professional reporters and lay persons. Professional get it right 25% of the time, and lay people get ready. Excuse me, professionals get it right 50% of the time. Lay people get it 25% of the time. And I'm sad to say one of the problems we have with reporting is someone uses it for alternative measures. So maybe the school is mad about you doing something. You as a parent, your children, I don't know. It's sad because schools, I would not say schools are 50% bad. I would not say that. I don't know. I maybe 25% of schools are bad. It's hard to dictate what groups are bad. I know that our government, including law enforcement, is 50% bad. Why do we have a Department of Government Efficiency? Why do we have to create a necessary task to do if our government's not bad? Why are the police being investigated? Why is CPS being investigated? So maybe the schools are 25% bad. I'm a school teacher. I'm a secondary school teacher, so I would know that, I guess. And I've seen I apologize. My internet froze and I think my picture froze. So I haven't forgotten you, Bernard. I haven't forgotten you, Tim. Um, yeah, I think it went off, Bernard. Thank you for telling me that. I'm back. Um, then there was a second complaint after 2 years passed at the same school. Okay, what was the second complaint? And then Bernard further says the CPS agent, which is a social service worker, they're called social services. For a lot of you don't know that CPS wasn't started to the 1960s. The child protection system was started with an act of Congress that told social services you need to protect our children from neglect and abuse. Neglect and abuse. And so the social services has a department, but it's different names in every state, every county. So if you're in Orange County, California, it's called the Child Protection Services. But next door at LA County, one of the largest counties in the United States, it's called the Department of Children and Family Services. And if you're in Richmond, Kentucky, it's called the Cabinet. So whatever it is, I just say CPS or Child Protection System. So it's the CPS social workers, the same as the first open close. Okay, so it's the same. Is it the same social worker? Oh boy. This was the second complaint after 2 years past some school. Okay. And my buffer's on, so my buffer's not off. I'm talking. Are you still there, Bernard? Are you still there? Um, Again, I hope I get my computer back going soon because this murder to do my phone with me on there. I know sometimes I have to be out of my home without my computer, but I can still use my computer and use the phone as a Wi-Fi device. I forgot about that. That's right. That's right. Hmm. Um, so I'm looking for more comments, Bernard. Oh, Bernard, okay. He further said, okay, it's not loading my comments that fast. I just switched to a new internet thinking to be better. Okay, I know he invoked all those amendments. That's fine. But it's hard for people to know amendments. It's hard for them. But what you do is you need to have an attorney. You're trying to do this all yourself and you're not an attorney. You're not trained in dependency law, family law, or juvenile law. Those are the three areas of law that you must be trained in, and you must complete the bar exam. So you need to become a lawyer. You want to fight them. And if you are, you can't fight your own case. You need to still hire a lawyer. And I know that's the hardest thing for all you can afford. Now, I'm not saying that you can't, but you have to creative financing. And I did. I quick sell my home. My children are more important than my home was. My favorite home that I worked 45 years for, I had to quick sell it to come up with money to hire attorney. It was Mr. Davis. And the in LA County, where he works out of, in Arcadia, he has a $5,000 retainer and he's $550 an hour. Now that is a lot. 5,000 is a lot if you're low income. That's the problem. I had lost my job. So I was very low income. I didn't have any income. And I hung on to my house for 7 years after I lost my job. But I had to lose my forever home. And I had to get my kids back. And so I quick sold my home and could pay enough money. It cost a lot of money. It cost a lot of money. It's more than 6 digits. Well, no, 6 digits, yeah. But it was still expensive. And there are attorneys out there that are $1,000 an hour. There are retainers that are $10,000, and the lowest attorney was $200. So it ranges. The lowest retainer I found was 2,500. So it can go 2,500 to 10,000. It fluctuates, and the retainers, by the way, have to be kept up. I don't know. The rules are different, but some say they have to remain 50% or something. You pay 10,000, you spend down to 5,000, and if you go below that, you got to make up the difference. You got to make up the difference. So it is hard there, Bernard, but you're doing this all on your own. Also, it's a federal civil sites are special needs, autistic. I saw autistic before, but somehow stuck. Okay, the buff. That was the second complaint. Okay, I think your buffer. Okay, yes. Okay, I see yes, but I don't see anything further than yes. Okay, are you anything further than yes? Have you typed in anything further than yes, Bernard? I'm here to help you. And don't fret if we run out of time with this live stream. I got a show at 6 o'clock, and then again tomorrow at 8. I'm on 3 times a day. I got the whole period of time to get there. So, um, he said I let her in because she explained herself, and I did check with the attorney. Well, whoever that attorney was, that was a mistake. Because here's what happens when you let them in your castle. If you have something laying out, they're going to find it. Also, you will slip and say the wrong things that will be used against you in court. The purpose of an attorney, and it has to be an attorney trained in dependency law, family law, and juvenile law, and has experience fighting CPS. See, my attorney, Vincent Davis, has over 30 years, excuse me, getting close to 40 years getting children back. 40 years he has. He's also trained in criminal law and civil law. He can do trials. He's a trial attorney. He's one of the top ones around the country. Yes, $5.50 an hour may sound high. A $5,000 retainer may sound high. And by the way, that's only a guesstimate because it depends on the complexity of court case, how long it's going on, and how far you're from. Because if he has to fly to Wisconsin, he's got airfare, ground transportation, a car rental, hotel accommodation, and food, and a license for that state, let alone the miscellaneous clerical paper costs, copy machine, or whatever that may be there. So you let her in because she self-talked herself, and they're getting tricky. They're getting tricky. The easiest way to do when you hear a knock at the door, don't answer unless you know who it is. Because be prepared to be shot in your chest or shot in your face. Be prepared to have your kids taken away. And be prepared for all kinds of things to happen. Your kids are, even if they come in and they talk to you and you talk to them, they can't take your kids unless they have a warrant or the child was in imminent danger, meaning that you're beating the child with a whip, or he's got blood marks, or you've been punching him, or slamming against the wall, or shaking a little infant's head. Those are things that are in imminent danger. You know, you have a gun pointing at them, stuff like that. That's the only time to get them. Because the kid's dirty, because the kid was left unsupervised, or because they didn't wear their clothing right, or things like that. Those are forms of neglect. Abuse, of course, is either physical or mental, but they can be fixed through parenting classes and programs, even if you're on drugs. Now, if you're on drugs, it isn't safe for another child. That's called neglect. And there's a good chance your child will be removed. They're not in imminent danger yet unless they're taking the drugs. But if you're leaving drugs around and they're picking it up and smoking or shooting it or whatever, they're in imminent danger. So that's the thing, it's called imminent danger. You got to be careful of that. As I say, not answering the door is so much easier. You call your attorney, you said, I saw social worker so-and-so, I have their card or something like that, or here's the offer. I need you to defend me. And so they'll meet, and your attorney will be quiet, and then he'll sit with you and he'll use some type of a signal not to say anything. So if he taps you on your arm or your leg, you don't say anything further. Because he'll hear things that they can use against you. And he'll stop you because he is really authoritative about taking your child away. You'll ask him, do you have imminent danger? How is a child being hurt or going to be hurt? You see, and by law, they can't do that. By law, they can't take your child unless it's in imminent danger. They can't break into your house unless somebody's in imminent danger. They can't break in unless they have a warrant or you give them permission. And so those are mistakes you're making. I know you said you talked to an attorney, but I would really be wondering what the background of that attorney is. The CPS social worker checked the home conditions and was not concerned. Well, that's a positive thing, but you shouldn't have them check it because let's say, unbeknownst to you, somebody left something out. That would be a trouble. So that's why when you want to have a home inspection, you want the house spotless. You want the refrigerator full of clothes, food. You want the table, the eating area clean. You want the prep area clean, and you want the kids' rooms organized and clean. the bathrooms clean, those things. But if they're dirty bathrooms, dirty house, cluttered house, a lot of us get that way through no fault. And those are things they can use against you. That's all called neglect. A cluttered house is neglect. A dirty house is neglect. Because we need to live in an organized place. There are times that clutter is maybe you moved, you got a lot of boxes to unpack and things like that. So anyway, Bernard says the CPS social worker checked the home conditions. It was not concerned. Good. If I need to have a lawyer, um, I have them. Okay, good. You can afford a lawyer. That's good. I don't know if you have legal insurance, like house insurance or car insurance or pet insurance, but if you have legal insurance, that's the great way to protect them. It's usually a premium about $100 a month and $1,200 a year for legal insurance. It's a lot of money, $1,200, but you may only have one or two legal matters in 10 years, and the insurance company makes money. Insurances always make money. They always make money because if they get 1 million people to join in, not everybody's going to have a disaster every moment or every time. That's how they make money. And hello, Ryan. Ryan was on yesterday. Ryan has a wife named Sheila who uses Boon, Boon, I believe. I hope I didn't get it right. Here's Bernard. Okay. I asked to record her. She said it was okay. Oh, well, Bernard, that's great. Bernard, yeah, it's not somebody from yesterday. Bernard's from today. So you asked to record her. Well, that's really remarkable. Technically, you can record people, but you got to be at public places. If you're at the office, the government office, you can't record. But if you're at Starbucks or McDonald's, the library, public library, you can record. And you should do so. And there's Rock Stroma. I'm back. Okay, Rock, I think you're on yesterday. I forgot where you guys are from. Bernard, I still don't know where you're from. Ryan is from, they were going to Michigan from Ohio, and they're traveling to Michigan. The car broke down. I remember it yesterday. Bernard, I don't know where you're from or where your family is from. I don't know the ages of your children. It helps me, you guys, if you give me the ages of your children, how many children they are, and who made the accusations. You don't know that it came from CPS and so forth. So Bernard asked to record us. Okay. Rock says he's back. Rock, can you tell me where you're from? Now, Ryan was yesterday. He's from Michigan. They went from Ohio to Michigan. That's right. I'd like to send you the cop cam video and get advice from you, sir. Well, if I can look at it during my showtime, but I don't. I only give you an hour every day. And that's for everybody. That's something maybe my attorney might like me to start to do, but I don't know. I'm only giving you educational advice. I cannot give you legal advice because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. But I will talk to you for free for an hour, 3 times a day, 7 days a week. So that's 21 hours I can give you free of my time. I hope that you support this show by checking stars because that gives a little money to the show. Doesn't go to me, but I hope it does support the show there. But I'd like to give advice. I'm really good about analyzing things. I have 61 years of life experiences. I've worked for 61 years. I'm a 76-year-old dinosaur. I have 43 years of marriage. I've raised 6 children. All 6 are doing good. Sadly, 3 of them or 4 of them are not talking to us as parents. And a lot has to do with the CPS matter. That CPS matter will ruin you. It'll ruin you looking for work. It'll ruin you for getting a job. It'll ruin a lot of things. Not only do you have your age to work against you, I have CPS on my record to look for me. And that's bad. That's bad. I'm trying to get a job to better myself, but it's a struggle. For instance, I could go out and buy a new AC brick right away, but I don't have the money and it's under warranty. They'll send me a new one. A new brick is probably that kind of computer I got is a couple $100. It weighs a lot, the brick does, but the cable they made was a big cable. But apparently when you pull it in and out of the computer, because I use my computer so much mobily, that the bending of the wiring is suddenly cracked. Maybe the plastic is not good. I would recommend that they have something like a a swivel or something that bends real easy when the cord moves, because the laptop computer, it's like your phone. When you plug in your phone at the bottom or wherever you plug it in, it always wears out. In 6 months' time, your cable's gone. And they should be up front and tell you that. They should be up front and tell you that. And even the new cables, I go through hundreds of cables a couple years. But you're welcome to send me the cop cam. I'll look at it. I know that Lisa Bartley sent me her. Lisa Bartley, by the way, if you're out there, you came on late this morning. I didn't get a chance to say hello to you, but hello from this morning. Lisa Bartley is a mom that has a really terrible life. She was raped by her husband, and her son, who's 4 years old, turned 5. Anyways, just awarded to biological dad who raped her. And she was in a lot of problems there because she lives alone in a trailer. In Montana, it's cold there, and I think her heater broke out. She finally got a wooden stove, and she's got a new heater coming, but they've given her so much grief now that she has no visitation with her 5-year-old son. She wanted to teach him at homeschooling, and they instead enrolled him into a public school, which she was against. And so, okay. Bernard says, I was on A plus condition. What do you mean you're on A plus condition? A minus. What do you mean you're A minus condition? I mean, I don't know yet. I have several insurances. Okay. But you should have got a lawyer involved right away with your CPS case. If you don't hear from me, who has a firsthand experience in talking to 26 people, the one thing most people mess up is letting them in the house and talking to social workers without an attorney. And you need to have an attorney defend yourself because so many people. We have Felicia that comes on here. She's from Oxnard, and she's in Ventura County. She lost her 2 twin babies 2 years ago from doing drugs. And she should have got her drug situation clean. She's now clean, but she's been evicted by her brother from her mom's house. She was taking care of her mom who has dementia, but her mom's missing. Her brother, I suppose, was a responsible person, a Navy chief, but apparently he has something in for her. The whole family does. Her biological dad still cares for her, but he's not doing much. And they think they're adopting the babies. But anyway, she has a big mess because she also has 3 criminal cases: trespassing and eviction and trespass and eviction. A warrant. She didn't go show up when a warrant's been issued out. Warrants are terrible things, if I tell you. Warrant can be a promise to appear. A warrant can be a direction that a police or a social worker can perform in your presence. Okay? So that third way of getting your home is that they have a warrant. But the warrants are supposed to be done right, and a lot of them are illegally warrants. The crooked police or the crooked social workers at the CPS used old warrants. Either they copy them and paste and put in the date or something like that. It's very important that on the warrant, you see the judge's signature. It's got to be a wet signature. It's got to have a date that you would get in a regular court hearing. A lot of court, they're closed. They don't do court on the weekends, and they don't do court on week holidays. So if that date followed on a holiday or on the weekend, then you know it's bogus. The signature is not wet, then you know it's a copy. And on top of all that, it's got to say the date that the warrant was issued. That's how you check the date. It's got to say who the warrant was issued to. If it's the mother and father, it'll say there. If it's a couple, it'll say there. Then it lists the children, and then it lists the allegations: negligence or abuse. And it'll probably say 3 counts of negligence or 3 counts. If you have 3 children, each child is a count. And then it's going to tell you what the person that has the warrant can do. Come into the house, talk to you, talk to the children, take the children. It's got to have specific directions and a date they can do so, and a date they can do so in a location. So that's what a warrant is. Now, a warrant for failure to appear is different. There are many kinds of warrants. I'm not going to take the time right now because I'm running out of time. We have 10 minutes left here, and I want to make sure I got Bernard and Tim covered on what they're asking me. We have a new person, Crystal, and we also have Ryan from this morning or yesterday. I need some advice. I have a case that is high profile with CPS, and can someone give me a number to call? Well, I have my number. It's written there, black and white, but you can't call me yet. You can be a guest on my show. You send me a text message or an email, and I'll forward on to my producer and get you the link. And you can talk on my show like I'm talking. You can be a guest on my show, and that would be great. I understand you're high profile, and I keep everything in confidence. Um, I'd love to give you advice and help you. I don't know where you're from. You need to tell me your city and state or your city and country. All of you need to do that to me because I have no idea. There's only one person here I know, and Ryan, he's from Ohio, I believe. His license is Ohio, but he was in Michigan when the incident happened. And again, I forget a lot of times. 2,600 people is a lot of people. And I'd love to help you, Crystal. And again, welcome. And the number of the call, by the way, if you can't reach me, call the office. And maybe Mr. Davis can help you. The office number is 888-888-6582. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you if you want to speak to Mr. Davis. Now, Mr. Davis, it's up to him to decide who he can help out, who he can, and how much the fees are and stuff. Not me. I only give examples. But he'd be a darn good attorney to get for any amount. He's very valuable. And remember, he has over 40 years experience, and he has gotten children back home. He's won lawsuits, millions of dollars he won against the agency. Agencies actually have training tapes with his videos on there. You go to see Reels, he has numerous videotapes of what to do, the case plan, how to get your child back, and so forth. I talk for an hour, and I try to institute all the things that I've come across. I too was a victim, and I'm sharing you my stories. And I want to help you. I want to help you. And the key I've seen all this is strictly you need to get an attorney. And here you have Mr. Davis, very valuable attorney. And if you're in California, that's even more valuable because it won't be so expensive. Yes, it is expensive. I think the highest price I saw was $125,000 to go do a case in Wisconsin. So his retainers range from 125 to 5,000. So there's your range. And his hourly rate, I think, is $550, no matter if it's far away or close. But those are still cheap prices, especially for what you get. He has a proven track record, and you can't go wrong hiring Mr. Davis or him helping you out there. Now, I want to get my show closed pretty quick here. We have Rook is Ohio, right? Rook and Ryan are the same. Rook is Sheila, and Ryan is Ryan. I guess I may have it the other way around. Bernard, thank you. I have no idea where you're from, but and Crystal's the same way. Thank you. Please come back. Don't just because we hadn't finished doesn't mean you can't come back. I'm here to help you. It won't cost you a dime. It won't cost you a dime. But I only have an hour. So, and I do try to talk about things that no one's talking to me. But I give first priority for people asking me questions. I'm going through all the comments from people. I think I had, besides, I think I also had Tim, Tim. Yeah, he was one. Again, I don't know where you're from, Tim, but I'd like to help you. So we have Tim and Ryan. Well, Ryan and Sheila, you have different names, so that's easy to do me, and Bernard. Okay, thank you all. Thank you so much. And God bless you. You guys are amazing people, and you ask really honest questions. And I appreciate the room is. We have rules that no profanity and respect one another. That's all I ask you in this room. We can't use the names of judges or social workers. We can't use the names of judges or social workers. And of course, no profanity. And no eating. If you're a guest on my show, you're not allowed to eat or smoke on the show. Now I'm going through all the message you guys have sent me. Okay, and Rock is further clarifying. Rook is further clarifying that Sheila has 3 kids in Ohio, 6, 5, and 3. Okay, thank you. I'll try to remember that. And Ryan is her partner. Then you can see why our children were taken. Yes, they're very young. You guys were in a parking lot. You were too tired, and the police came and took you in because you said the children were dirty and maybe you've been traveling for a couple of days, have a chance to give a bath. And maybe if you knew what's now, you could have maybe explained yourself. They should have just let you go with just a ticket. But, and Ryan says, then you can see where our children were taken. Not all the money we get with taxes and assets, we're getting it all together, spent on lawyers, the children. Well, yeah, your legal matters are not cheap. You want to know who pays the most in legal? You know who's paid the most? The President of the United States. He is abreast in so many legal matters, it's ridiculous. Because anybody that stands against him, if they can't understand him, they want to sue him. I mean, can you imagine today? The elections from his first term are over. But people are still saying about election problems. They're talking about an incident that happened besides October 20th and 9/11. We're talking about the day on January 6th that protesters came and marched on the Capitol. That isn't all the president's fault. You know, you people have to realize when you have a guy elected officially in the country where democracy, let him do his job, support him. That includes for the other party. Don't sit there and constantly badmouth a person's stuff. Why don't you guys clean your house and get a leader that in the next term's elections would be a good leader? But you've done nothing that since he's been aboard, you've been trying to displace him. He's not going to go away. He's a businessman. He's elected officially, and he's doing his best. But people are chopping him down. They're chopping him down. You'll see in the end. You'll see in the end that he'll be a great president. Ryan says, working as well as my husband, Bill stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Ryan is Sheila. Brooke, I think, is Ryan. Okay, my email is right there on the screen. It's Bob P at VincentWDaves.com. It's the last address. Bob P at VincentWDaves.com. And your house you were called homeless because they found you sleeping in a parking lot. You should have used Auto Club and towed you to a hotel. Or put the car at a garage to get it fixed the next day and take a taxi cab to a hotel or Uber to the hotel. You send the video clip to my email. Now my email is Bob P at VincentWDaves.com. My phone number is where you text me and phone call, but I can't answer after hours or before hours. So Bernard said, I am repeating. I'm in Michigan, and we see no reason to panic, but ready if needed to concern. The case will be passed. Okay, well, you say you're in the background, so if you know what you're doing, Bernard, but thank you for sharing, Bernard. Rock is Ryan, and Sheila is Ryan. Okay, Rook is Ryan. So right now, and Sheila's Ryan. Okay, so I'm talking to Sheila right now. Okay, I'm trying to. Oh boy, New York, Ohio is where ours were taken. So that's your CPS matter. Good. Ryan says he watches all Vincent's videos. Good for you. I recommend that. Well, it's 1 hour and 20 some seconds. There'll be a short video you need to watch at the conclusion of this. And I really enjoyed you guys. You guys gave a lot of intelligent questions, and I hope you understand a lot more. I'm going to be around. I'll be on again at 6 p.m. And then again tomorrow morning at 9 p.m. 8 p.m., 8 a.m., and then 1 o'clock p.m. I'm on 3 times a day. They're all times are the West Coast times, Pacific Standard Time. Please take care of your child. Don't give up. Don't give up. Come here first before you do anything. And I will try to help any which way. My phone number's been up there. My email's up there. The office number that um, is for getting a hold of Vincent Davis, who is a real legitimate CPS attorney. He's a family law attorney. He's a juvenile law attorney. He's a dependency law attorney. He's a civil rights attorney. And he's a legal attorney. He has over 40 years. So he'll help you with all kinds of matters. He also has a law firm that has all kinds of attorneys in all kinds of different areas, including CPS. So the chemistry doesn't work good with him. Maybe someone at his law firm will. Because you need to get an attorney and get at least, I would interview 5 and pick 3 not interview, I would find 5, interview 3, and hire 1. Because then you have a backup if the one you hire drops out. So you look for 5, you interview 3, and you hire 1. And I guarantee you get the right attorney. But it's always so important that you find out that they have a background in dependency law, family law, and juvenile law. And that's a simple question to ask them. Also, make sure they've done CPS matters in 1 cases. You don't want someone brand new starting out on you. Secondly, you want to ask a second question, say, have they ever done a civil lawsuit and won money against CPS? If you have a double answer to those questions, you're going to have a good attorney. All it depends on is your affordability and your chemistry. And you'll make it. You'll make it. But believe me, so many people I've told to get attorneys, and they've gotten their kids back. I have David Halago from Santa Maria. I have another couple that had medical neglect. And they got a lawsuit against the agency because they lied. See, that's the problem is CPS workers will lie and fabricate. So will police. You got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. And schools are bad too. I'd say at 25% they're bad. Anyway, it's well past my time. Thank you all for listening. God bless you all. And I'll see you tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.